Yes, this is the situation today. So again, nothing on the printers, although there is some material on here. So this is one thing I keep meaning to do. Got this. It's the Carvera Air, this machine. I've not really used it in anger yet. I did a kind of teardown video on it. There we go. Yellow warning has been issued for rain. That's surprising. So I want to make some prototype enclosures. Now, typically I would do this with just like 3D printing. Good morning, Jimmy. But because the final product I want to have CNC'd from aluminium, I want to kind of test the actual machining process. So kind of what is feasible and viable via the machining process, because I've not designed a lot of stuff to be actually like properly CNC machined in like any sort of detail. So I have some blocks that's about the height of the enclosure, plus a little base that goes on it. So yeah, I'm going to try machining those at some point and see where we get to. I've got a little bit of material. It's quite expensive and extremely wasteful, isn't it? Like, because I'm going to basically dig a massive hole out of that. Yeah, that's machining for you. And for me, that plastic will unfortunately probably go in the bin. Hence why I don't like machining very often. But there you go. It is what it is. That will be an option. This machine scratches, unfortunately, a little bit easily. Again, nothing on the printers this morning. I haven't printed anything off. Yesterday was chaotic and messy. So here we are. But the video for the H2S is done. Kind of mostly. I mean, it is done. I've uploaded it and it's ready to go. It's a shorter one than I'd normally do. But yeah, it's just kind of an overview, some maintenance testing, and that sort of thing. I try to keep it short and not go too much into detail because a lot of people have had videos all on the same day. And no, mine is a little bit later. Hopefully still worth watching. Although with all the news that we had coming in over the last couple of days, God, flies. With all the news we've had coming in the last couple of days, it's a funny old situation at the moment, isn't it? Ooh, nice hot coffee though. What can I share with you today? It's weird how normally I'll prepare loads of content and then start a video, whereas when I do this, it's like the other way around. Start the video, get it all going, and then work out what to talk about. One of the things I've been working on recently is the TD1 kits. So if you're familiar with HueForge and transmission distance measurements, there's a TD1 kit by Ajax 3D, which has now become TD1S, which is like a quite professional looking product. But as well as selling the TD1S, I wanted to go and make sure people can still get the kits. And then alongside doing the kits, because I've now bought all the parts myself and sourced them all like directly, I bought extras of various bits so I can sell spares for things as well. So got a bunch of bits laid out. So at the moment, all kind of just packaged up. But I'm going to get those out, get them photographed and get them on the store as spares. So for those that have made kits or need spare parts or feel that they're a bit at risk when they do a kit, because if they can't get spares, then it's not an ideal situation. So we're going to put those up and make those accessible for everyone. Every time I start a live stream, I have to remember to change the chat to all messages now, because otherwise it may filter some. Does anybody have questions? Maybe of like H2S or something? Oh, golly, all over the place today. I'm not a fan of this. This mount for the phone is a bit janky. And I know the video quality doesn't come out anything like as good as what I see like reflected back at me, which looks like pretty good, but once it gets through YouTube, it's all a little bit blurry. Hopefully the audio is okay using the DJI mic at the moment. Although it's a bit low down, isn't it? Let's just deal with that quickly. So one thing I finished off with in our chat yesterday that I wanted to talk more about was the RepRap Huxley, or at least my version of it, which I designed basically entirely for auctioning off at Smurf 2024. Yes, 2025 now, which there won't be one until 2026. So yeah, I created that entire printer. Although it's obviously based on a previous design, I have redesigned literally every component. So I did that in like 2 months or something, maybe even less. It's a lot of like intensely packed work all into one short frame of time. I created a complete bill of materials for it, detailed every possible size, length, dimension, the whole 9 yards. So that I had like complete BOM that I know would work for a printer. But because I wanted to make something a bit sort of special, to have like an auction item that was kind of more interesting, some of the components are a little bit just like over-spec'd and over the top. Like the board, the control board in it is a Manta M5P, which is not like the top end board, but in a printer that size, it's quite a big board. And that uses a CM4. And overall, it just has more features than we can really make use of. So the plan now, going forwards, is to try and settle out that specification into something that kind of fits the level of printer that we're actually building, whilst maintaining as much of that performance as we can. Although it's not like an extreme performance machine, it's a dinky tiny little thing. And yeah, the plan going forwards is to try and make a kit, but knowing how things are going with 3D printing market, I know the level of kit sales is diminishing, I think, right? That's generally the way things are going. There's obviously still a lot of enthusiasts that want to build their own printers, but the market for just pre-made things is shooting through the roof at the moment. And they have a lot of advanced features. There was a time where building it yourself got you the best printer. And that obviously drew a lot of people in because you want the best thing, you do what's required to get there. But now I'm not sure that that's as true as it was. By building your own, you obviously still get more options, you get more customization. If you want something really specific that's not available, then you can still do it by DIY methods. But by and large, you don't necessarily get the best thing by building it yourself. So with the Huxley, I wanted to develop something that was not just like, oh, the most important thing is like specs and performance, but like historically relevant, looks cool, fun build, a bit of education for people that haven't built printers, or maybe for younger people that have built, children of younger people that have built printers. So you can build it with someone else and help them learn the new bits of design and engineering and building and 3D printing. So that's the kind of kit I want to have. Whether we'll get there is another thing. The plan at the moment is to firstly focus on the pricing. So getting the spec in line with what is appropriate, finding out how much all of that costs in terms of batch production, not just me buying a bunch of things and putting it together, because obviously that's not viable for 100 kits. And then once I know how much everything costs, then I can work on a Kickstarter and hopefully share basically this bit of why I want it to exist, how much it's going to be, how we're going to get it to you, and all this kind of stuff. So, yes, I'm going to all the usual suspects that you might have heard of in 3D printing industry to help me bring a kit to life. I can't promise anything at the moment, and obviously with it ending up being a Kickstarter, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I want to try as much as I can to make that happen. So fingers crossed, the market is still there and people are still willing. I think a lot of it being based on a kind of maybe like an emotional purchase sort of thing, like a nostalgia purchase. The price needs to be quite reasonable, because I don't think a small printer that sells for like having a kit at like £800 or something, it just feels a bit not quite there. Whereas if you can sort of invest half that, then it feels a bit easier to go with, oh yeah, I think this will be a lot of fun. It's a few weekends of building things, although the build is not that long or difficult. Yeah, I think finding the right price point for it is going to be important, but also keeping that cool appearance. So the kind of black and gold style, I think I really enjoyed. I thought that was really good. So yeah, that's what I want to do with Huxley. It's going to be quite a bit of work, I imagine, to get it really to that final point, but what size is Huxley? It's tiny, like really tiny. It's based around a Voron V0 bed, which is 120 millimeters, and it doesn't quite reach 120 millimeters of Z. So the disadvantage of that is obviously for functional printing, it's limited in size. It doesn't have enclosure, so things like ABS probably out of the question unless you put like a cardboard box around it. But actually, from a perspective of enjoying building machines, small is really good because it makes it way easier to just like flip and turn and rotate in order to build things kind of efficiently and enjoyably. The bigger it gets, I mean, I've built like the Rat Rig 500 and stuff. Once that frame is put together, you're not going to flip and rotate it to build stuff. You have to move around the printer to build it. So that just slows it down a lot, and I think takes away some of the enjoyment. Whereas you've got this dinky little printer on the desk in front of you, it's just really accessible. You've got parts, manual, printer, and you put it together. It feels more like Lego because it's on that scale of, well, like, you know, hand holding size. And it also helps with the cost effectiveness. The bigger the things are, the more they cost to make. So unless of course quantities and stuff affect that, if you build 1 million of something big, it can be more cost effective than building 100 of something small. And that is all we're aiming for. I'm aiming for 100 kits. So it will be a limited edition. This will probably be the only opportunity to get it. So 100 kits and then it'll be gone. But yes, cost-wise, by having the smaller things, the smaller items, we kind of reduce complexity, reduce overall size, material costs and stuff go down, shipping costs go right down. So hopefully we can get it in at a suitable price point. I might have to pull in a few favors from other companies to help me get it done. But I really, really, really want to. Well, partly for my own sake, I've designed multiple printers now. I really want to have one to say, I've sold printer kits. That feels like a big deal for me. But yeah, just from it took me a lot of time to do. I got a lot of compliments at the show for like how cool it looks and it's really nice and all that sort of thing. It does print well, although again, at the show, we didn't necessarily get to demo that particularly well. One of the grub screws was loose on the motor and it just looked like it was just printing bad. Once I got that fixed, it's absolutely fine. But yeah, this, fingers crossed, with lots of effort and some favors, it can turn into a cool printer. I think it's actually, so I've obviously built it a few times now. In order to get to that one I had at Smurf, I built obviously prototypes and that sort of thing to get to that stage. So I would build the whole printer, test the parts, dismantle it again, build it again, and that kind of thing. And it just doesn't really take that long. It was quite an efficient build. There's quite a lot of heat set inserts and little grub screws which we use to put it all together. And yeah, it's worked pretty well so far. I don't know, I've not caught up with Ellie on whether it gets used much, but yeah, the build time was not that long. As I say, with such a small printer, it just makes it quite quick and easy to do. I think that also helps in terms of the manual, how good the manual is. A lot of the manuals I see online, excuse me, using that kind of digital system, RatRig uses it, LDO uses it, quite a few other people use it. I just don't think it's very nice to kind of run through. Being digital is kind of a limiting factor, but being on a website with all other stuff around it, the content gets so much squished into the middle, and you're like typing in tiny bullet points and people put way too many words. You just really need to simplify instructions so you can look at it and see within literally seconds what you're supposed to do. If you have to sit there on a page and read paragraphs of text and flick through images and click this and click that and click this, and it's all in this tiny little box that you can't zoom in very easily, it's just really not a very fun experience. I understand, I guess, why you would use those digital instructions, because if you need to make a change, you can just change it and everyone gets the update immediately. They don't have to reprint stuff or check for updates or anything like that. But the experience is just not that great from my perspective. Did I make a printer before this? Yeah, the Darwin. So the Darwin was again one I did for Smurf. Again, went into auction, and again, Ellie from Coco Press won that one. So yeah, that was an all rods kind of machine. In terms of kits, again, that was not really viable. It's extremely expensive to make. And the size of everything means it's very difficult and expensive to ship anywhere. So that the price would have been like as much as a Voron, and it just doesn't make much sense. I can't remember what happened to my data for that. I think I uploaded it to printables and stuff, so it's there, I think, if you want to build one, but not necessarily cost effective to do. Darwin Evo, yes. I did do one for Joe Prusa afterwards as well. Although I believe my understanding at the moment is it got damaged in shipping, so you may not have seen it from them. I do need to go over and fix it at some point, but that has not happened yet. So yeah, that's two old school printers I've done. I also did a Core XY back in like 2018 called Steve. It was the something electronic vector extruder or something. Superfluous tridimensional electronic vector extruder, I think. Which was basically, if you look, it's sort of a rods-based early Voron cube style. I mean, it's not Voron, it's nothing really to do with Voron, but it's like all enclosed within the frame. The idea was that you have this 2020 extrusion frame and you can put panels all on the outside as a full enclosure. So yeah, that was that. Again, wasn't doing shop or selling or at that point. I don't know how many people built them, but that was quite an advanced project for the time. No one was really doing much Core XY stuff. If I'd have stuck with that and focused on it and improved it over time, I'd have probably been ahead of the game. But I keep moving on to new projects before I finish them, so it just sort of stayed where it is. Maybe I'll build another one at some point, but again, not much reason to. There's so much on in 3D printing at the moment. It's not like I'm hunting for work. What else can we chat about? I can't think what else is going on. So the headphone amplifier and DAC. Still like the Carvera. Still not used it much. I need to use it more. I opened the video with it like at the start. It's just here. I need to create some enclosures. I bought some Delrin to machine some enclosures. I've not had the time to do that yet. it's because it's part of a bigger project. The rest of the project needs to be at the right state for me to have the right design to get through it. Steve is also on printables. Wow, did I put it there? Maybe I did. I probably imported it from Thingiverse because that's where I think it was originally placed. What's the situation on Marlin or RepRap firmware? I mean, for my specific printers, I have like nothing. Marlin, I believe, is still under development. Not under development. It's still being worked on, as is RepRap firmware. RepRap firmware, I'm definitely sure is. Marlin, I'm pretty sure is. It is definitely less common. Both of them less common than they maybe used to be. I've still got to work. So there's a big project going on for VLMP at the moment. We're working on a whopping great project. Big in scale, not necessarily big in the final things, but that will be coming probably this time next year. Stock of VLMP kits is coming back soon though. They've sold out, so we're getting some more of those. I don't have much to chat about today. Keep asking questions, because otherwise I'll not have much to talk about. Yeah, I guess there's still, I mean, as a kind of content creator, I guess I live in this little bubble of everyone has the latest printers, because as soon as they sort of appear, people ask me about them or I get sent them, and I'm just surrounded by the latest printers. But the reality of the situation is that there's a lot of people still with older printers. They're still reasonably good if they're functional and working, or people are buying them used. So yeah, it's difficult to know really what the reality of the market is. Because even if you try and do a poll, all I'll get a poll result of is my audience rather than, again, reality. Will you do a teardown of the H2S? Yes, my video is not public yet, so that would make sense. The short answer is no, but the answer is yes. Technically, I've already done the H2S because I've done the H2D. They're basically exactly the same printer. You can see them here next to each other. Like, it's literally copy-paste machine. The difference from the outside is the panels. I don't think I need to do a teardown just to show you different panels. The main difference, or really the only difference between these two machines, is that one has 2 nozzles and the other has 1 nozzle. That makes the tool head entirely different, and my video focuses on maintenance of the tool head, so a lot of it is taken down and torn down, although it's not specifically as a teardown structure. It's like specific maintenance tasks and timing them to see how well the design is appropriate for maintenance and how good the instructions are for that. So you'll get to see inside the tool head, and then if you just watch the rest of the H2D video, you'll have pretty much all the information. No, iFixit. I seem to be coming iFixit because I just tear down everything. I quite like doing it. It's just really difficult. Like, just because of space. I mean, I don't necessarily show you much of the space I have available, but this whole workshop side here is all taken and occupied. This space, I'm building more on this. I mean, I've put this extra table out because I need more counter space, but like, this is all the space I have. And then this space across here, this is like incoming stuff. And then the rest of it is shop stock. So I just don't have that much space. Even when I get more space, I just fill it instantly. So if I had loads and loads of room, like tables and stacks, then I could run multiple projects at once because they could each have a space. Because of the limited space I have like one space to work and one space to store the printers. So one teardown will just smother the whole room for a month while I record and edit and refilm, like, or just like take close-ups of like specific parts and all this kind of stuff. Takes a flipping long time to do, and generally I'm not getting paid for them, which is great. I get printers, but like I can't pay the bill with printers. Like, in order to pay the bill with printers, I then have to print things, which means I'm still buying material. I just don't have to necessarily account for the cost of the printer, which is nice. I realize it's a privileged position, but sometimes I would just rather be paid. But I understand there's conflicts of interest and this kind of stuff anyway. Yeah, I do. I mean, I do pay for this space. This is a specific space that I've moved into to have more space, but I didn't realize it still wouldn't be enough. The shop's stock area has expanded quite a lot more than I had originally expected. And maybe I need to control that in order to get more printers on that side and give me more working space over here. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not sure what the second-hand market is doing at the moment. I saw your comment about lots of printers taking second-hand in various states of function. So maybe there's quite a lot of people with a differing kind of budget and DIY focus that are buying printers because people are selling them really cheap because they just want to get rid of them. And they're finding that stuff needs repairing or fixing, and they'd rather do that than buy a new printer, or they don't have the knowledge of like the global situation to know what is available elsewhere. They go to eBay or whatever and buy the first thing they find. So yeah, interesting situation. I've not worked on Ender 3. It just seems odd that people would still work on an Ender 3. Like, again, I know I'm in a bubble, but like you look at the difference between the printers that are released now and the Ender 3 era of frames with wires everywhere, and now we're in like fully enclosed, like real. This is basic. Like if this was released before, like even 2022, like you'd look at this and go, "This is just a fully professional machine." No consumer would buy that. And maybe the H2D is still very expensive, but like even A1 series, like they just barely have any wires sticking out. Whereas we used to have Ender 3s with just wires just sticking out everywhere, just zip tie that on here, zip tie that there. Hope for the best. Oh no, wire's broken again. I love working on my Ender 3. I print parts on my A1 or P1S and try it out. I only print calibration parts on the Ender 3. That is quite a nice, I mean, from a like a hobby perspective, that's a really nice thing to do, and I think a really good thing to do. Printing out parts, testing out modifications, and just enjoying that process. That's really, really nice thing to hear. Right, we're at pretty much half an hour now. So I'm going to go get on with some work. It's 11:30 already. I did do some emails and stuff earlier this morning while I was still at home, so I've accounted for some of that, and I did work late last night doing BOM management for Huxley. So I bought myself some extra time this morning. If you want to check out vector3d.shop, I need like a jingle. Yeah, go check out vector3d.shop and buy some things. So subtle. I'm not good at marketing and promotion, can you tell? Like when it comes to making videos and stuff, I just like want to like talk about things and not worry about, oh, you need to go market this and make sure you say this at this time and then do a call for action and all this malarkey. Oh, gets on my nerves. I just want to have fun. So yeah, tomorrow hopefully we can still do another one of these, and I'll try and get some stuff printing, although I don't know what my situation is going to be today, so we might not be able to. Yeah, if you've got 100 USD in your bank, probably don't go buying stuff for fun. It's just not the greatest plan. I shall speak to you all soon, maybe tomorrow, hopefully with some stuff printed if I design some things today. Maybe not. We'll see. I've forgotten what I've actually got to do today, so. Yes. Thank you very much, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, whatever, and we'll be back for more coffee chats tomorrow. If you want to check out previous ones, not that they're necessarily that relevant, but these, instead of being public, they go into an unlisted playlist because subscribers don't want to be spammed with these constant live stream things every morning because they're minimal in content, but mainly for enjoyment and catching up and chats. So, morning and goodbye. Sorry. I'm 2 minutes over budget on my live stream already, but I'll speak to you soon. Thanks, everyone, and goodbye.